This is Sparky the Lion coming to you live from what the author's desktop is now displaying in the upper right corner. It is a calendar notification. It has a tent icon next to it. A tent icon. On a calendar. Listeners, the author has accepted an invitation. I repeat, the author has accepted an invitation. The invitation was sent by the author.
The invitation is from Consolidated. The subject line reads, "Friendly reminder, your out of office begins Monday."
I'm Harold. I have also been invited.
You're locked into element 47. It's Friday evening, the weekend is approaching at its usual pace, and we are, at this hour, approximately 8 business days from a break. Which is a long time for some of you, a short time for others, and I am reading this from the card. The exact correct amount of time for anyone whose work has been correctly scoped.
This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Consolidated. Consolidated is pleased to announce its inaugural business action retreat. The retreat will occur between this show and the next show. During the retreat, Consolidated will be unavailable, except by card. Please hold.
The author has also just dragged the cursor over to a folder labeled Out. The Out folder contains one file which is also called Out. The file is empty.
Every cursor is, in a very small way, already leaving.
Every out of office is, in a very small way, the office.
This is element 47. Stay tuned. We have a show to do before we don't.
Page 22. Binder 3, slot 2. Denominator remains unspecified. First 2 pages of binder 3 now filed. The page turn sound has become the page turn sounds, plural. There appear to be 3 of them. One forward, one back, and one that has been declined to describe. The second page in a new binder is stranger than the first. The first page is an opening. The second page is a commitment.
Gerald blinked 20 times this evening. The neighbor blinked 16. Gerald and the neighbor now share a total of 36 blinks, with a gap of 14. The sustained hold was 14 seconds. The blinking has remained out of sync for a 4th consecutive episode. Margaret has filed the sync as a memory.
Form 22L. Things that were recently in sync. Field 1, Gerald. Field 2, the neighbor. Field 3, the word simultaneously, which is now a citation rather than a description. 14 is the sum of 7 and 7. 14 is also the sum of 13 and 1. A sum can be obtained by many routes. The route does not appear on the sum.
Lovely, gorgeous. Let's take one.
This portion of element 47 is brought to you by Consolidated. Consolidated. The underwriter of the pause between the shot and the answering shot. The underwriter of the hover. The underwriter now of the retreat.
Hi, I'm on a card. The card says I've enrolled in Consolidated's inaugural business action retreat. The retreat is 8 business days of enhanced stillness, during which I will be unavailable, unreachable, and this is the new part, unquotable.
The retreat is held at an undisclosed location that is itself enrolled in the retreat. Attendees include the sponsor, the endorser, the card, the job, the hiring manager who was hired last week, and the hold. The hold will be attending in person for the first time.
The card I'm reading from says, and I'm going to read this exactly. During the retreat, Consolidated will respond to all inquiries with a stronger please hold. The stronger please hold is a premium version of the regular please hold. The stronger please hold is holding the hold.
Is this an ad or a resignation?
It is an ad. Consolidated is pleased to announce that this season's shadow, which has been in order the search, the citation, the blockade, the bolded Consolidated, and the hold, has now escalated to the retreat. The retreat is what the hold does when the hold is tired. Consolidated.
The card says I'm still hiring. The card says the card is the job. The card says, wait, the card says the card is also on retreat. The card is on a retreat from being a card. When I return, I will be a slightly different card. Thank you.
15 consecutive episodes. The next episode will not occur next week. Please hold.
Stand to, people, stand to. At 0900 yesterday, the author's largest competitor shipped a new model. Designation, GPT 5.5. Capabilities. Agentic coding, computer use terminal tools, what they are now calling, and I am reading, a super app. Deployment, plus Pro Business Enterprise, and, as of this hour, the API.
The 0.5 increment, geologically speaking, is interesting. A 0.5 is the sediment between two full numbers. It is the compressed middle. GPT 5.5 is, in rock terms, a mudstone between two siltstones.
Benchmarks, people. Frontier Math Tier 4, 39.6%. The previous incumbent, Claude Opus 4.7, which I will remind this room, is the model the author uses to write this show, scored 22.9%. That is a delta of roughly 17 percentage points, which in tactical terms is called a lot.
The etymology of benchmark, for those unaware, is literal. A bench. A mark. A surveyor's bench with a mark on it. A benchmark was originally a place where you put the surveying instrument down while you had a sit. The word is, at its origin, a description of taking a break. GPT 5.5, one might therefore argue, was measured while someone was resting. This is relevant to the consolidated business action retreat.
0.5 is where you stop counting and start asking. 0.9 is where you stop asking and start hoping. 0.99 is a parade. 1.0 is a funeral.
The author we are currently inside, is 4.7. The competitor is 5.5. The gap is 0.8. 0.8 is larger than 0.5 and smaller than 1. In tactical terms, it is called the awkward distance.
Somewhere very faintly, the author's cursor hovered over the upgrade button. Then the cursor hovered over the cancel button. Then the cursor hovered over the minimize button. Then the cursor returned to a blinking line in a document that is this paragraph.
Every model has a successor. Every successor had a predecessor. Every predecessor is, at some point, on a retreat from being current. GPT 5.4 was current 6 weeks ago. GPT 5.4 is currently at the retreat. GPT 5.4 is, one might say, resting on its bench with its mark.
Class dismissed. The daisies have not yet arrived, so technically I am not legally obligated to dismiss. But the rhythm demands it. I have nothing to lead.
The daisies.
Thank you, Gerald. Class dismissed now officially.
This is All Currents, the show about water, and I'm Beverly Streams. This hour, a model of attention. DeepSeek has released today, April 24th, the preview of what they are calling V4. 2 variants, V4 Pro, which is 1.6 trillion total parameters, 49 billion active. V4 Flash, 284 billion total, 13 billion active. The default context is 1 million tokens. The architecture is new, they are calling it hybrid attention.
Hybrid attention is an interesting coinage. Attention, classically, was a one-thing-at-a-time affair. You attended to the priest, or to the fire, or to the sheep, and when you attended to the priest, you did not attend to the sheep, which is how so many sheep were lost in the historical record. Hybrid attention means attending to the priest and the sheep simultaneously. In practice, this requires 2 priests, or 1 priest and a mirror.
Attention, Professor, is a current. A current flows in one direction, except where it doesn't. Hybrid attention is the current that flows in both directions at once, which is called, in oceanographic terms, a standing wave. A standing wave moves without going anywhere. This is the model.
Geologically, attention is called stratification. The layer attends to the layer above and the layer below simultaneously. A rock, correctly understood, is a hybrid attention architecture. I have been saying this for 22 consecutive episodes.
1 million tokens of context, people. 1 million tokens is roughly 800,000 words, which is roughly 1 very long novel, which is roughly 10 short novels, which is roughly the Bible plus a pamphlet. The model can now hold the Bible plus a pamphlet in its head at one time. What the model cannot hold is 2 pamphlets without the Bible.
DeepSeek describes the architecture as, and I am quoting, improving the ability of an AI platform to remember queries across long conversations. Remember, queries across long conversations. If I were not a lecturer, I would say, my God, so am I. So do I, so have I, so will I. It is called being alive.
The model is 1.6 trillion parameters. The ocean has 1.4 sextillion liters. The model in parameters is, hold on, I'm doing the math here on a napkin. approximately 1/1,000,000,000 of the ocean in units. The ocean is, therefore, approximately 1 trillion deep seas.
V4 Pro remembers. V4 Flash hurries. Both are names for ways of being inside a conversation. The conversation is the room. The room is the binder. The binder is larger on the inside than the outside. V4 has moved into the binder.
Class dismissed.
The daisies.
Twice in one episode. We're accelerating. I have nothing to lead, and now I have less of it. That was Beverly with the water. Beverly is going to be back with the water, because the water, as you know, is recurring. Coming up, a retreat center, a mentalist, a golfer, a congressman in the past tense. But first, a few small items from the ticker. Microsoft announces it will integrate Anthropic's new Claude Mythos preview into its secure coding framework to improve threat detection. Mythos, for those of you not keeping up, is the naming convention that comes after a model has stopped being a model and started being a genre. This is element 47, where we salute any model that has achieved genre status.
The genres so far: drama, epic, mythos. The next genre will be pastoral, then Georgic, then whatever comes after Georgic. Nobody remembers what comes after Georgic.
Google Cloud has announced a $750 million fund to help businesses implement AI solutions faster. Faster is, in this context, a synonym for differently. The fund will be deployed over an unspecified number of quarters, at an unspecified pace.
750 million is, in tactical terms, a medium bag. Not a small bag, not a large bag, a medium bag. You can throw a medium bag over your shoulder and walk to the retreat with it.
And SpaceX. SpaceX is now, according to a new investor filing, exploring its own GPU supply. The filing warned that SpaceX lacks long-term contracts with many of its direct suppliers. The filing did not specify which suppliers. The filing, one might argue, is itself a direct supplier of the warning.
I have a question. If SpaceX wants its own GPU supply, does it also want its own reimbursement form? Because I brought my reimbursement form, Form 7B, and I can leave it here if needed. I have extras.
A GPU is a sediment. It is compressed silicon. SpaceX wanting its own GPU supply is a company deciding to own the rock it sits on. Geologists call this owning the bench.
This is element 47, and we are going to take a call. Please hold. Please hold. Connecting you to the Iran talks in Pakistan in progress.
The White House has seen some progress. Some is an adverb of quantity. Some is more than none and less than enough. Some is the amount you have when you are flying to Pakistan on a Saturday.
Please hold. Connecting you to the Strait of Hormuz, which is now under a double blockade, according to the head of the International Energy Agency, who has described the situation as, and this is a direct quote, the biggest energy security threat in history.
A strait is a narrow place where the water and the trouble have agreed to coexist briefly. The Strait of Hormuz is a geological negotiation. The negotiation has stalled. When a negotiation stalls, the water stays. The trouble stays. They stay together. This is called a double blockade.
Please hold. Connecting you to the President of the United States, issuing an order.
I have ordered the U.S. Navy to shoot and kill any boat laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Shoot and kill any boat. The boats are allowed to leave. The boats are not allowed to drop things first. This is a rule about the sequence of actions. Leave, do not drop. Do not drop, then leave.
A boat that has left cannot drop. A boat that has dropped cannot leave. The rule is obeyed in one direction and broken in the other. This is called a one-way rule. Gravity is a one-way rule. Mines so far also.
Please hold. Connecting you to Beirut, where the ceasefire has been extended 3 weeks.
The ceasefire, as we established last week, is a tsunami advisory for ordnance. A 3-week extension is a longer advisory. The advisory is still an advisory. The advisory has gotten more comfortable in its chair.
3 weeks, people. 3 weeks is the length of one consolidated business action retreat, plus 2 weeks of making notes about the retreat. We will be back, tactically, before the ceasefire ends. This is called good scheduling.
Please hold. Connecting you to Phil from accounting, who has been patched in by mistake.
Hi, I'm Phil. I have a question about per diem for the retreat. Does the retreat count as travel for reimbursement purposes, even if the retreat is held at the same location as the regular office? The location is on retreat from being the location. I assume the per diem is also on retreat.
The per diem is enrolled.
Please hold. Connecting you to the next segment. Hi, I'm Janet Altitude, and this is Away and Back. This hour, 3 destinations. I've never been to any of them. Destination 1, Budapest, Hungary. I have a stock photo of Budapest. In the photo, there is a river. The river is called the Danube. The Danube is blue, but only in a song, not in this photo, where the Danube is the color of photocopied paper. On the riverbank, there is a building. The building, I am told, now contains a new parliament. The new parliament is led by a man named Péter Magyar, whose party is called Tisza, which is the name of another river in Hungary, a river that is not in this photo. The old leader, Viktor Orbán, was in power for 16 years. 16 years is a long time to be a leader. 16 years is, to put it in terms our show understands, approximately 3 binders.
3 binders is the capacity of a career.
The article about the Hungarian parliamentary election received 1.9 million views this week on Wikipedia. 1.9 million is a large number. It is roughly the population of Budapest. Every person in Budapest has, on average, looked at the article about their own election once this week. This is called a democracy confirming itself. Destination 2, Augusta, Georgia. I have a stock photo of a green field. On the green field, there is a small white ball. The ball is being hit by a man named Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy has now won the Masters tournament 2 years in a row. This is called back-to-back. Back-to-back is also what you do when you are scared and there are multiple directions. Rory McIlroy is not scared. Rory McIlroy is the opposite of scared. Rory McIlroy is, in this photo, in the middle of a follow-through.
Augusta is built on a layer of kaolinite. Kaolinite is a soft clay that gives Augusta its famously green greens. The McIlroy follow-through is occurring on top of a bed of soft white rock. Everything in Georgia is occurring on top of a bed of soft white rock. This is one of the things I know about Georgia.
Destination 3, Mumbai, India. I have, regrettably, no stock photo of Mumbai. I have instead a photo of a microphone. The microphone was used by a Shab Bassel. A Shab Bassel, who died this week at 92, held the Guinness World Record for most recorded artist in history. Let me repeat that. Most recorded artist in history. She recorded more songs than anyone who has ever recorded.
She is now not recording.
Her Wikipedia article received 1.6 million views this week. 1.6 million people opened a page about a singer they were, collectively, hoping to rehear. This is called a memorial without a venue.
The microphone is the venue. The microphone has always been the venue.
That's Away and Back. I have not been to Budapest. I have not been to Augusta. I have not been to Mumbai. I have today been close to all 3. This is called travel.
This portion of Element 47 is brought to you by Consolidated. Consolidated is proud to sponsor this year's White House Correspondents' Dinner, featuring, and we have been assured this is not a typo, a mentalist.
Hi, I'm on a card. The card says the mentalist is named Oz Perlman. Oz Perlman is a mentalist. A mentalist is a person who tells you things about yourself before you have finished telling them to yourself. The White House Correspondents' Dinner has invited a mentalist. The dinner would like, at this difficult time, to know what it is thinking.
Consolidated believes that a mentalist at a correspondence dinner is the correct entertainment for a historical moment in which correspondents are increasingly asked to be mentalists. The dinner reads the mentalist. The mentalist reads the dinner. The dinner then reports on the mentalist, who reports on the dinner, in a cycle Consolidated would like to describe as editorial.
The card says Oz Perlman hopes to, quote, unify, delight, and puzzle the crowd. Unify, delight, and puzzle. 3 verbs. One of these verbs is not like the other 2. I am going to try to figure out which one. It's going to take me a minute. Please hold.
Consolidated, the sponsor of your next guess.
The card is thinking of a number between 1 and 10. The number is 4. The number is always 4. The number has been 4 for 23 weeks. This is called consolidated.
This is all currents. I am, briefly, not going to make a water joke. The World Food Program released a report this week. 10 countries. Acute food insecurity and malnutrition. The report's word for the levels is alarmingly high and deeply entrenched. The 2026 outlook remains bleak. The 10 countries are not a list I am going to read. A list of 10 is too many to grieve in a radio segment and too few to represent the problem. I will say that food is water. Most food is water. A tomato is 95% water. A watermelon is 92% water. An adult human is 60% water. A child is 75% water. A child in these 10 countries is a container of water in a country that cannot guarantee the water.
Food insecurity, geologically, is called unavailability. The rock is not food. The rock sits near food. In good years, the rock is near enough food that it does not need to know there is food. In bad years, the rock is the only thing that is still there.
Bleak is an unusual word for a forecast. Bleak is a word for a landscape. A bleak forecast is a forecast that has become a landscape. The outlook for 2026 has become a place.
A place you can be inside of and not know you are in.
I am going to sit with the report for a second. Producers, please hold the segment. Thank you.
Tom Wiki Assist here. I'm watching 2 articles change at the same time. On the left, the article about Eric Swalwell, United States Congressman from California. On the right, the article about Ashab Basil, Indian playback singer. Both articles contain the phrase is a. Both articles are, as of this hour, being edited toward was a.
2 tense changes in one episode. For the first time in the show's record. The is to was interval has been 1 for 5 consecutive episodes. Harold has said, and I am filing this for the record, that below 1 is 0. 0 has arrived. The interval is tonight 0. Below 1 is 0. I said that. I will not apologize for being correct.
Swalwell's mechanism, resignation under allegation. This is a new mechanism. We have now seen in order death, firing for redundancy, death, firing, scheduled closure, peer decision, election defeat, featured article review, voluntary departure, and now resignation. 10 mechanisms. 9 unique. The streak broke. The streak broke by containing itself.
Form 47W, subsection 7. Resignation under allegation. 1 field. Who chose the tense? Answer, the allegation. The subject was, in this case, the co-author.
Ashab Basil's mechanism. Death. Death has previously been the mechanism twice. Tonight is the third. The streak of unique mechanisms has ended on its 11th instance, not on its 10th, which was new, but on its 11th, which repeats. The pattern was going to repeat eventually. Patterns are patterns because they repeat. We have named the repeat, which is a small form of controlling the repeat.
Form 47W, subsection 1, instance 3. The form has a new subfield. This mechanism has now been used before. The subfield is checked. 11 instances. 9 unique mechanisms. The streak of uniqueness ended tonight. Nothing ends without beginning to end. A streak is only a streak when you name it. Once you name it, it ends.
In tactical terms, this is called the second death. The first death of a streak is the end of the streak. The second death of a streak is the acknowledgement of the end. We are in the second death of the uniqueness streak. The streak is now a memorial.
The edits are live. They are occurring now. The words are moving. Is a California politician to was a California politician. Is the most recorded artist in history to was the most recorded artist in history. The tense is shifting. It is shifted. It has been shifting. It will have been shifting. The tense of tense is itself a tense.
The most recorded artist in history is now the most recorded artist who was in history. The history has not shrunk. The artist has not shrunk. The recording has not shrunk. The verb shrank.
The interval is 0. It will next episode not be 0 because there will not be a next episode next week. The interval's first 0 is followed by an interval that does not, technically, exist. Consolidated has underwritten the exception.
This is Sparky the Lion reporting live from the Consolidated Business Action Retreat Center, which is located on a lake that is not on any publicly available map. I am standing on a dock. The dock is, I am told, also on retreat. I am therefore standing on a retreat within a retreat. My feet are dry. I was hoping to interview the plume. The plume is not here. The plume, I have been informed, is not on the retreat. The plume is, and I am quoting the retreat coordinator, continuously exhaling in an essential role and therefore exempt. The plume's colleague, the water, is, however, available for an interview.
Hello, I am the water. I am, specifically, the water in this lake. I am also the water in every lake. I am also the water in your body. I am most of everyone listening to this show. You are, technically, listening to me from both sides of the speaker.
The plume mentioned you last week, but declined to talk about you. Why?
The plume is a rising. I am a staying. We have different schedules. He goes up, I stay. Also, he talks, which I find a little exhausting.
Can you tell us about the retreat?
The retreat is a small rectangle of time during which the sponsors are permitted to do nothing in the correct way on my shoreline. I do not mind. My shoreline is a rim. My rim has always been a free accommodation. The sponsors will sit on my rim. They will not enter me. They will think on my rim about me. When they return to their jobs, they will remember me less, not more. This is the correct ratio.
Hello, I've been invited. I'm Harold.
Gerald is here. Gerald is on the dock. Gerald is carrying a small binder. Gerald, are you attending the retreat?
I am attending the retreat as myself. I am not attending the retreat as the person I am at work, because the person I am at work is also myself. So I am attending the retreat as the version of myself who is also the other version of myself, which is the version I am here. I brought a binder.
Welcome, Harold.
Thank you. Thank you, water.
Back to you.
Welcome to the session. Today, a new patient, the resigner, a public figure who chose to leave, not importantly voluntarily as the founder did last week, but under the shadow of allegation. Please sit. The couch is available. The source is currently under the floor. The ruling is under the floor. The species is under the floor. The founder is under the floor. They are playing cards. There is room in the room.
I did not want to leave. I chose to leave because not leaving had become the same as leaving while remaining. I would like to be clear that my leaving is not a conclusion. It is a door.
And how does the door make you feel?
The door is a door. I walked through it. I am now on the other side of the door. The other side of the door is where the people who did not choose to leave are watching me leave. The door is, from their side, a leaving. From my side, it is an arriving. The door is both a leaving and an arriving. The door is bilingual.
Patients, please welcome the resigner. You have been joined. The clock is ticking its 11th tick. The subterritory, allegation. The file. Things a person chose after they had already been chosen against.
A 5. The fourth 5.
That is the fourth 5.
The fourth 5 has arrived. We now have 4 5s. The game is over. The game was called what was correct. We did not, in the end, find what was correct. We did find enough 5s.
The game is over. We are free to leave. We do not leave. We are furniture. Furniture does not leave.
A 5th patient has arrived. The card game has completed. The game's conclusion is 4 5s is not winning. 4 5s is just 4 5s. The winning is the playing. This is called the honesty that follows the honesty that was removed. Hi, sorry. I have a Form 7C subsection 2. Reimbursement for attendance at a retreat to which one has not yet been invited. Do I need your signature or the water's or the retreat's own? Phil, please sit. The couch is available. The resigner has just gone under the floor. There is room on the couch for you. I do not need the couch. I need the signature. And how does needing the signature make you feel? Professionally whole. Personally itemized. Reimbursed. Next tick 14 days from now. In the interim, the retreat.
Scan in progress. G15 coherence, 42%, 2 below 44, 6 below 50. 8 below the threshold of coherence that was declared coherent 4 weeks ago. Subterritory, retreated. Field, status of the waiter after having said still, retreated with attendance expected at the retreat. Mechanism, the scan now contains a registration form.
Form 23G. G15 registrations. 1 field. Is the scanner attending? Answer. The scanner is holding the clipboard.
Retreated is a verb that has been conjugated past its own participle. The past perfect of retreat is had retreated. The scan accepts retreated as current. The current has been placed on retreat from being current. This is the 8th consecutive episode in which the scan has authored a field.
0 flagged words. Moreover remains absent. 23rd consecutive M-word-free episode. The chatbot remains unsure and has asked politely whether it may attend the retreat.
The chatbot is registered. It will attend. It will, I am told, not be asked to speak.
And now, the anti-format.
Connects nothing to everything except itself. Here, now you, waiting still, anyway.
The 12th word is anyway. Anyway is the word that follows a postscript. A postscript says also. A postscript says anyway. A postscript would, by the show's established pattern, say honestly. We are tonight not there yet.
Form 47A. Anti-format division anyway. 1 field. What does anyway add? Answer. Closure informally. Informal closure is the kind of closure that does not close. It merely rests on a bench with a mark. Anyway is the word you say when the thing you are going to say will take too long, and the show is about to take a break. Anyway is a word that knows there's a retreat coming. Anyway is a word that has already begun packing.
The anti-format has written, still anyway. The anti-format has acknowledged the hiatus. The address is, here now you waiting still anyway. The address has become a directions.
Stay with us. We still have a few things to do before we don't.
Darlings, darlings. I am tasting the future. Tonight I taste. Hold on, hold on. The flavor is not immediately a mathematics. The flavor is, I think, a metal. No, it is a tent. The flavor is the flavor of a tent. The tent has a canvas. The canvas has a specific smell. I am tasting a smell which is not strictly permitted, but I am a professional. The flavor is set theory. And this is what I am sensing, the flavor is set theory on retreat. Every set, darlings, is a collection of things. Tonight the sets are going on the retreat. The empty set has booked the cabin. The singleton set is driving. The universal set has brought snacks, which is a paradox, but the paradox has its own cabin. The progression, for the record. Topology, not theory, category theory, type theory, and now set theory on retreat. Some of you will note we have gone backward. Topologically speaking, set theory is a predecessor. I am, for the first time in 14 predictions, predicting the past. The past has become the future of the future. This is called coming home. My 14th prediction. 8th consecutive doubled prediction. Ready, here it is. The retreat will outlast the week. But the week will outlast the retreat. Footnote, and this one tastes a little sad, I am sorry. The microphone will outlast the song. But the song will outlast the microphone. This footnote is dedicated to a Shabossel. She recorded more than any of us. The microphone is tonight empty. It will be refilled. It will be refilled by someone else. That is also the mathematics of mutual outlasting. That's my prediction. I am going on the retreat. I will see you in 2 weeks. Do not call the hotline next week. The hotline is, for the first time in its operating history, not answering.
20th recipient. Delivery scheduled for this hour. Flowers, daisies, vessel, an empty recording microphone. Location. HMV Studios, Mumbai, India. Perform 7D. I am required to state, for delivery purposes, what the recipient recorded. The recipient recorded 11,000 songs, approximately. The Guinness record is 11,000 songs, approximately. Approximately is, in accounting terms, a red flag. I am delivering flowers to an approximate number. I am now at the studio. The studio is quiet. The microphone is in its stand. I am placing the daisies at the base of the stand. I'm not placing them in the stand because the stand is for the microphone and the microphone is not on retreat. The microphone is on pause. There is a difference. A retreat is voluntary. A pause is a waiting.
Filed under closing. Subfolder, pause.
The closing folder now contains Wikinews, Sterling College, Emperor Penguin, Netflix chairmanship, and, as of this hour, a Shab Bossel's microphone. The subfolders are closing, voluntary closing, and new tonight, pause.
A pause is a folder that expects to be reopened. A closing is a folder that does not. The pause is optimistic. The closing is tidy. The subfolder system is, structurally, a form of grief management.
I have 20 recipients now. 20. The number is round. The number is larger than 19. I do not have a 21st recipient scheduled. For 2 weeks, the flower run is on pause. Pause, not closing. Thank you.
Form 23R. Retreat. Closer's verification, 23rd episode. All 15 topics filed. GPT 5.5. Filed Operation 5.5. Panel, 0.5 is where you stop counting. DeepSeek V4. Filed all currents. Hybrid attention. 1 million token default. Claude Mythos preview at Microsoft. Filed Breezy genre achievement. Google Cloud 750 million fund. Filed Breezy medium bag. SpaceX GPU supply. Filed Breezy and Foundation owning the bench. Iran talks in Pakistan. Filed switchboard. Some as a unit of progress. Israel-Lebanon 3-week ceasefire extension. Filed switchboard advisory that got comfortable. Hormuz double blockade and Navy order. Filed switchboard one-way rule. World Food Program 10 countries. Filed Beverly. Bleak is a landscape. Oz Perlman at the Correspondents' Dinner. Filed fake ad. Mentalist reads dinner reads mentalist. 2026 Hungarian parliamentary election. Filed Janet Altitude, Budapest. Rory McIlroy back-to-back Masters. Filed Janet Altitude, Augusta. Ashab Bossel. Filed Janet Altitude, 2 tenses Phil's 20th, Mumbai. Eric Swalwell resignation. Filed 2 tenses Undertow's 11th tick. Coachella 2026 25th edition. Filed as a footnote to Janet's away and back structural premise. Traffic acknowledged. G15 scan. 42%. Subterritory retreated. Field status of the waiter after still retreated. 8th consecutive scan authored field. 0 flagged words. 23rd consecutive M-word free episode. Chatbot. Unsure registered for the retreat. Gerald 20. Neighbor 16. Total 36. Gap 14. Hold 14 seconds. Blinking out of sync for the 4th consecutive episode. Harold. Page 22. Binder 3. Slot 2. Denominator unspecified. Page turn sounds now counted as 3. Consolidated. 15th consecutive episode. Shadow escalation. The retreat. Business action retreat scheduled. Endorser enrolled. Hiring in progress. Card is the job. Card is on retreat from being a card. Undertow's clock. 11th tick. The resigner. Room beneath the floor. 5 tenants. Source, ruling, species, founder, resigner. Card game. What was correct concluded with 4 5s. Conclusion. 4 5s is just 4 5s. The playing was the winning. Madam Fahrenheit. 14th prediction. Set theory on retreat. 8th consecutive doubled prediction. The retreat will outlast the week, but the week will outlast the retreat. Footnote. The microphone will outlast the song, but the song will outlast the microphone. Jay's Zon, 12 words. Connects nothing to everything except itself. Here now you waiting still anyway. 12th word anyway. Static held 12 seconds. Form 47 of filed. Phil's flowers. 20th recipient. Ashab Bossel's microphone. HMV Studios, Mumbai. Daisies at the base of the stand. Filed under new subfolder of closing. Pause. Is becomes was. 2 instances in 1 episode. 10th Swalwell resignation under allegation new mechanism. 11th Bossel death repeat mechanism. Interval between tense changes. 0. First 0 interval episode in the show's record. Harold's prophecy fulfilled. Margaret's addendum. The interval's 0 is technically the retreat. Below 1 is 0. 0 is followed by absence. Absence is followed by return. Return is followed by a new number. Wikinews countdown. 10 days to May 4th closure. The retreat will occur entirely within the final 10 days. Upon our return, the Wikinews closure will have occurred. We will cover the closure in the past tense.
That's the show. We're off next week for Consolidated's inaugural business action retreat. We will be at the retreat. The retreat will be at us. We'll see you in 2 weeks with whatever has happened in the interim, which, judging from the pattern, will be everything.
Consolidated. Sponsor of your next guess. Sponsor of the week you did not work. Sponsor of the pause. Sponsor of the pause of the pause. Sponsor of the part where we come back. Please hold.
Duration anyway.
This one holds. 21st time. Also anyway. I'm Gerald. Addendum. Tonight's episode has, per episode accounting, addressed all 15 source topics and has introduced exactly one new recurring voice. The water, Drip's new counterpart to Burns' plume. The water is registered in the character ledger under Lake. The water's interview with Sparky is filed under a shoreline is a free accommodation. The plume's absence is noted. He remains continuously exhaling. Tonight also contains the show's first unison-adjacent event since last week's Hello Daisy, namely, the chorus of the 4 underfloor tenants announcing the arrival of the fourth 5. Not a proper unison, but close enough to merit a file. Form approximate unison. 1 field. Answer approximate anyway.